right, so we'll start with Tanika, please.
Okay, so hello, Mr. Clyde. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I am just a chemical engineer, but I'm here to support the network with business plan writing, event planning, promoting of any sort. But my main thing that I wanted to chime in with you is on the IT side, because I have an extensive IT background, and we were talking about trying to recreate some of the platforms to better suit the musicians that are using maybe Spotify or some other platforms. So I have like a little team that I'm building to see how we can make that happen. So that's why I'm here.
Yvonne, go next, please.
Hi, Mr. Clyde. I think we report one of our news.
Yeah.
And I am a graphic designer, documentary filmmaker, and owner of One Location. That's my focus right now, which is a locations company that is in Shoreline, Washington. And the intention is to get locations for film productions, music videos, that kind of stuff. So I'm working on making that happen, and also here helping to promote the network and get us up and going. So that's where I am.
Okay, Rob, you want to go next?
How you doing, Mr. Merriwether?
Hello.
I'm an unseen face. I know you very well. I used to DJ and videograph a lot of the Black businesses where they had all you guys come together and do talks back in the day. So that's where I've met you from. Like I say, I was just talking about, you probably know Debrina Gandy and all them. So that's where I know you from. Right now I have my own network TV platform on Roku and Amazon TV, Fire TV, and all that. And I'm looking to get another mentor in my life.
Okay.
Hint.
Okay,
Just toss that on in
Merciful.
there.
Peace. How you doing, Mr. Merriwether? I
Hey
met you
man,
at my...
wait. Let's leave it at Clyde, folks. Okay. I know it's here and all that, but let's don't play it.
Okay. Mr. Clyde, Mr. Clyde, is that cool? I met you when my brother was shooting his video, actually, and he's told me a lot of very, very positive and profound things about you. It's always an honor to have, somebody who's well seasoned amongst us when we're doing these endeavors. So, the different quicksands and the different traps, because y'all got more years than us and more experience in this. But I'm gonna just tell you about myself. I'm Morpheus Magnetic. I'm from Seattle. I'm 50 years old. I'm a performing artist, recording artist. You can go to all the platforms: Apple, Spotify, Deezer, YouTube. I'm on all of them. My YouTube channel is 16 Black Meccas. And my brother brought me this piece, and this is something that he and I had actually spoken about many, many times, and actually Rock as well. Networking and having our own. Once upon a time, we called it the Green Book. And it showed you all the businesses all throughout the Black, world, and where not to go as well. So updating that and bringing that to the table. So very glad to have you, family.
Right.
Very glad to have you.
Okay, MC Andrew Love.
Yeah, he's right there.
Oh, I'm not even muted. I thought I was. But yeah, doing MC Andrew Love. I'm from upstate New York. I host a podcast called Let's Chat and Jam. It's either video or audio. I got a 1-hour weekly radio show. Comes on every Tuesday evening. It's called Undiscovered Gems. I'm a vice president of Petrucci Entertainment USA. We promote artists like jazz artists, blues, R&B, independent artists that still make the beautiful music. And then and I'm here because Ranu invited me to the network, and I saw something in Ranu years ago, and I had to reach out to him because I heard one of his songs, and I was blown away by his vocal abilities and how he can make a song that we all know is remade, but he made it sound like his own. And I was so impressed by that, I had to hit him up. And I went on the Instagram, I knew, everybody's on Instagram, so he must be there. And he was. So it took a while for him to tap into me. But once he did, I interviewed him. And then that stuff is on YouTube, but I want to repurpose that and put that on another platform that's playing all types of dope stuff. So I wanted to, my mission in life is not to be the famous guy, but to help people become famous. You know, I want people to, you know, that love music, that hip hop artists, country artists, blues artists, rappers. I don't care what genre they're in. I want to be able to promote everything, all the music, because music is a universal language. So, and plus, Black people invented all forms of music. You see, we have it all. It's like that. We're so nice that oh yeah, come on in and make a song with us. Yeah, go ahead, man. Next thing you know, they're taking everything from us and they're recoloring it and they're repurposing it for their own benefit, which would happen in hip hop. Hip hop started out as our venting about what's going on in our neighborhoods. I grew up, I'm 47 now, I was born in 1976. So I grew up in the early 80s. And that's when hip hop was pretty fresh, you know, pretty new, you know? And so I was like on the tip of that, listening to all the dope artists. Curtis Blow, Kumo D, Big Daddy Kane, Heavy D and the Boys, Fat Boys, Run DMC, Beastie Boys. Yeah, they white, but they dope. And those are the people I grew up with. And I'm very hurt right now by the state of hip hop, of how certain few realized that because we had this platform and we were starting to really empower the people. The people were starting to wake up to what's going on through hip hop. And the powers that be didn't want that. So my job is to, because there's still dope artists out here, MCs that are really making music, that are telling the people what's really going on, but they bury it in streaming platforms. They bury it They bury it in Apple Music. They bury it. And so my job as MC Andrew Love is to highlight those artists that are still making an impact, that are still making a difference, that are still making music for music's sake. So that's who I am. That's what I do. And that's what I love to do, is highlight those people. And Ranu is one of them. That's why I had to highlight him. And I still like to highlight him because he's dope.
Thank you. You dope too, brother. Delon.
Yes, sir. Okay, Delon White, Houston, Texas, R&B, soul singer, songwriter, sometimes producer. Recently, I've also done some working on something with MC Andrew Love. We're putting something together on that end. Besides being on Spotify and Pandora and all those platforms, I'm also on his Radio Indie International Network, 96.9 The Oasis. I'm on some charts and things like that. So that's basically what I do. And I'm, Andrew actually invited me into the group and introduced me to Ranu and stuff. So that's how I came about all this and stuff. So.
Gotcha.
All right, and last but not least, Skylar. He's our newest, youngest member. Introduce yourself, Skylar, please.
Hi, Mr. Clyde. I'm Skylar. I kind of am an artist in training, I will say. I'm kind of learning from my mentor that you just met. I'm kind of new to these things. Well, I am new to these things, so I'm learning. I'm willing to learn from you too. And it's a pleasure to meet you, man. Everybody just has something great to say about you. So I can tell you that you're a great man yourself. So pleasure meeting you, sir.
Gotcha.
And Najia just joined us. Najia, introduce yourself right quick, please, and give a little bit of background. You got to unmute yourself.
Wow, I was thinking that I was already unmuted.
Yeah.
But hey, everybody, my name is Nigeria, and I'm involved with Education Matters in Athens, Georgia, where we train young kids in journalism. And I'm also involved with local artists as well now.
All right, cool. So, Mr. Clyde, the way I came up with this concept is I was watching this clip that Snoop did, and he was talking about how messed up the music business is right now. And he said that even back when he was making music, although they only was giving you like 8% or 12%, you knew what it was. You know, you'll get that 8% of the 12% of the product, and then you'll go on tour and you'll make your money. You know, the record company is so messed up right now that everything's going through streaming, and they're paying you a fraction of a penny right now for what you stream. Everybody's streaming, and so we're not really making any money. The record companies, the streaming companies are making billions, and we're making nothing. You know what I'm saying? I've streamed over 1 million units on Spotify, and I've only made 1,100. So $1,100. So I thought about it, and I was like, we got to take the power away, take it back from us, and start selling our product directly to the consumers. You know, setting up our websites to have our products sold there, our merch sold there, and network together. And as you see, you know, we're the people that we have on here right now, and this is just some of the people, is from all over the country. And I feel like if we all get behind the product, you know, and start pushing the product and directing our fans to purchase the product, that we can cut out that middleman and make so much more money, you know. And so we've been meeting, this is about our 5th meeting. We meet every monthly, and we're every week, not monthly, and we're still organizing it. But when I talked to you the other day, so we're doing like the artistic part of it, but we don't have the business part of it set up yet. And and that was one of the questions you asked me when I talked to you the other day. Well, where are you guys at with the business side of it? The business side of it, and that's not my forte. You know what I'm
Can I
saying?
chime in just a little bit, because that's what we need to make the Blackify. We need a
Okay.
business model, and that's where we need your help, sir. From my perspective, like I said, I know the technology. You know, I know that the hardware and the software don't cost as much as they're charging these artists, right? So I got that part, but we need an owner. So, and I have heard of some other
We
business
need to set up the
models.
ownership part of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's where we need your help.
Yeah, so I wanted to see if you would be interested in being an advisor with us and more coming in on the business side of it and helping us set up the business side.
I'll tell you, my first thought is I have been working in y'all's venue for a while, you know, so technology aside, you know, I'm marginal, but you got that covered. And what's really available for putting together this kind of thing, you really kind of need somebody who's in sort of the business of it. You know, I can advise what I see, business and otherwise, but my second thought was I need to plug you into Jamal. That's my son. He's now working for NPR, but he's in the biz. He knows the biz the way I don't know the biz. So I'm not sure how I can help. You know, I'm working on this. Just
So,
bought a
Mr.
building.
Clyde, hold on. So, not to interrupt you, but I'm not talking about so that part we pretty much got like what we need to do, but you know how to set up a business. You know what I'm saying, and help us make sure and to make sure that the business part of it is structured. We're all pretty ignorant on that part of it. We all know what to do as far as the creative part and our individual things that we do, but as far as the
I get your idea. I get your idea. I'm just bought a building in West Seattle, as a matter of fact, and I have no money. It's $2.7 million.
He got a little bit of money, y'all.
No, man, look, I got no money. And trying to set up another business there for a Black Legacy Museum, if you will. I'm still up here trying to figure out how to set the business up for that. So I will advise as I can on business, but I'm really too blocked up and booked trying to do what I'm doing to work on setting up some books.
Yeah.
Big subject, big question. I got to think about the ask.
Okay. That's
Well,
fair.
it should be as easy as back in the day. I used to could go on the Secretary of State website, right?
Right.
And I could put the name of my business that I like, and they search the database and say whether this business exists or not. And
Yeah.
if the business did not exist, then I can pay whatever license fees to have my LLC
Yeah.
noted in the database. Period. That's really all we need.
Well, no,
We just need either. Go ahead.
that still remains the same. I mean, you go down the state and get licensed as a business, as an LAC. That's a go down and do it. But defining your business board of directors and whose names you put on it just become the issue that you guys know who you're working with. But I mean, no, to have a name / an LLC, that ain't nothing. To actually have a business, that's a different subject. I got a lot of friends with LLCs. Everybody got to spell LLC in the back room. They don't do nothing, but I got me an L. Mine is called the 43rd Tribe. I started it out of Kenya. Well, it's just sitting there. But that's just signing paper. That's not actual functioning as a business.
Okay.
All right. So you can get the title, but now you're talking about actually setting the business itself up. And to do that, you really need somebody who's like in your business area, because I wouldn't know where the catches and the glitches are. I can talk in terms of, I don't see this, I don't see that. You need this element, you need this, that, and the other. But I'm really not the person to set up a business, because I don't know I don't know half of what you guys already know because you live it. All right. So I just need to think about it. Let me work with Ranu and refine that, and I'll track down people that can either advise me or get them on your group to advise you. Certainly I'll put Jamal up on the next time around, because this is about, like I said, this isn't me. So this is me finding things and people that work for you. What I did with Ranu wasn't because I was in the business, but because I could see the pieces that I thought were important. So I'm a see guy. I'm not so much the set you guys up do guy. But I'll tell you this, I like what y'all doing, and I really like the fact that I'm here in Texas, I'm here in Atlanta, I'm from New York, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because that works for me, as opposed to being just the local boys in the garage saying I got a band. So yeah, I just got to learn more and get a feel for it, guys. You know what I mean? Like, this is out the gate for me. So I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to
Now,
overcommit.
you guys, that's also a smart business person. They say, let me think about it first.
Right. Like, I don't know. I'll tell you quickly.
Yep.
I really don't. But I'll find somebody for you.
Right.
Yeah, but I'll never lie to you. Ronnie would tell you that. If you don't want to hear what I got to say, then you don't want to talk to me, because this is what it is what it is. So
Sometimes he don't hurt my feelings, right? Because I called him for his advice and he gave me the unadulterated truth. You know what I'm saying? He put it to you straight up. And I always say, if you don't want to hear the whole truth, don't ask Mr. Clyde.
Yeah, well, in this case, you guys got the truth. I'm working with you. So like I said, I'll talk with Ranu offline, and I'll get Jamal hooked up, because I know he's got expertise and he's been fighting this good fight, and he's still got his band. He's working out of Minneapolis. If nothing else, you get another Minneapolis. He's got a new band in Minneapolis, by the way. So he needs to get up there on the same airwaves that you guys are talking about. And he also is always talking about getting past the system so you get paid, which is what I'm hearing.
Oh my God, let's go.
All right, he knows where the holes are in the systems, and I'm assuming, as he's been trying to work his stuff, if nothing else, he can tell you what pitfalls he's run into, so you don't run into the same crap that he's run into.
Thank you.
Speaking of Pitt is in the building.
Pitt, welcome.
What's up, Pitt?
What the heck?
Pitt.
What's up, Pitt?
What's up, Pitt?
How you feeling, Pitt?
Yeah, my
You
brother.
muted, Booger.
He's
Booger,
on
you
mute.
muted.
He's on mute.
Booger.
You're on mute, Pitt.
You on mute, Pit? We can't hear you.
He's one of our execs on Mr. Clyde. He's in the hospital right now, but
Oh,
yeah, we're happy that he's in.
yeah. Well, let me ask you, my brother, how old are you?
50.
See, look, y'all talking all this wonderful age, but I was born in 1948. Okay,
Beautiful.
so while we
When you and
talking
Dad
about,
was born.
hey,
That was
well,
the end of World War
there-
II.
there you go. So when y'all talking about, for me, this is such a repeat. I had to deal with Elvis Presley doing blue suede shoes. Okay, so when you talk about taking my music and using it, this ain't new.
Right.
This has been my entire life. So the idea that you guys are working on how do I take control of my own and promote my own without having to go through the system, I'm all for that. So I mean, in principle, I'm with you.
All right.
That's what I'm talking
Respect.
about.
Respect.
Shalon, I see you have your hand up, brother.
Yeah, actually, I'll let him, you guys finish because I want to have my thoughts correct. It was something
Okay.
I want to touch on, but I want to listen some more.
Mr. Clyde, can you give everybody a brief history about some of the things you've done?
Oh God. Let's see.
And don't leave out the bank.
Okay. Educationally speaking, started off at Howard University. Was in school with Donnie Hathaway, was my big brother, and Roberta Flack, Felicia Rashad, Debbie Allen. They were all in my class for that time period. Worked for KOMO Radio here in Seattle for 4 years, was their sales promotion manager. Got a master's in architecture, had an architecture, engineering, environmental assessment, construction management firm for 11 years. Executive director of the Northwest Minority Supplier Development Council, president of Seattle 8A Business Association, blah, 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 blah. My father and I did buy Liberty Bank and got screwed with the feds on that. The game was always fixed someplace else. Right now, I'm working on what's called the Seattle Griot Project. You might want to check that out if you got nothing else to do. GROIT, Seattle Griot Project, which griot being a South African term for traveling minstrels, poets, musicians, and storytellers. And what we're doing here is reconstructing the Seattle area's Central District, which is, well, Central District now. When I grew up, it was the Central area. It was the Black community that got gentrified. So, white folks moving into our neighborhood don't even know that they displaced anything because our story never gets told. So we're putting that back together. And that's why I bought the building out here to set up a Black History Legacy Museum and become a conduit for turning them on to everybody else that's got some history. Other than that, went to Dartmouth. You got a degree in business. Use that for. I've done too many things. I'm eclectic. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, so I just keep going to the next thing. And I guess
I love that.
you guys started to turn out to be my next thing, and then that's my next thing. So that's the overview for me.
What's the name of your video project?
The Seattle Griot Project. CRG, like I said, GROIT. And the website's kind of up, but it needs to be revamped because we've taken it over and taken it to a new direction. But what we've done so far is I've got 62 interviews in the can, if you will, of our older residents, those who made the central area in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Couple of reasons, real quick. For the Black community, which no longer exists in Seattle, there is no Black community left in Seattle. All right, and Portland's going, not Portland, but Tacoma's going quickly. Our kids have been spread all over the South End because they couldn't afford to stay in their own homes where they were, redlining, out, whatever, all that sort of crap. So our kids are no longer in a Black community, so they're not interfacing with Black people on a daily basis. They don't go outside the door anymore and see the pharmacist or the doctor or the lawyer. They just see white people across the street because they just went to where they could find some housing. So we need to show them what was capable. All of our 2 Black mayors that we've had in Seattle, I pledge both of them. Our judges, our doctors and lawyers, and Lenny Wilkins, the rest. I pledged all those guys coming through here. So that's another facet of what we're doing. And then number 2, I hooked up with the ex-ambassador to Switzerland, lady up here by the name of Susie Levine, who with her, we brought Raphael Warnock up from Atlanta to raise some money for his campaign, raised 750,000. Send her back down, but she lives in Seattle, but she only knows about Seattle going north. The lady been here for 30 years and has no idea the Black community kind of even existed. And so the white folks that are moving into our neighborhood, they don't know they're displacing. They're just going to the next piece of property. We're just the ones that are kicked out. So that's what the Griot Project is, just getting the truth out there and telling our own story as opposed to looking some police blotter and finding out who shot who yesterday. So that's my current quest.
DeLon has his hand up.
Okay, Mr. Clyde, thank you for this information, brother. I guess one of my questions about all of this comes down to what are we really? And what I'm saying is, when you're putting a business together, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have to have the, like, for instance, like what I'll say Motown as an example. Whereas with record companies, and Renew, you know this because you ran one, is that there's a lot of different talents and a lot of different facets to get to that same goal of basically selling records. So whether you're making tires or soap or cars or, TVs, whatever it is, it's not just one person's idea. It's a lot of different talents and different facets that come together to create that one thing. So I guess my question comes down to, are we trying to be all things for everybody, or are we trying to do one thing and all get to put all our talents to get to that goal? That's what, correct me if I'm wrong, but.
No, look, you're dead on. You guys defining what your mission is, what your purpose is, you start with that. I mean, it's like you have spoken of multiple elements, but I mean, are you, on your point, are you talking about and distribution and this and that and that? So what are you guys, what do y'all want? What does this group, what's its mission? I mean, really define. Now, talk about the whole music industry if you want to, but what is it you're trying to actually create here?
Well, if I could speak to that, once upon a time we had like a chitlin circuit, which was a group of places you could go to perform throughout the United States, and they were usually in the traditionally Black neighborhoods. Unfortunately, a lot of those chitlin circuits were not owned by us. So, you know what I mean? Somebody else has been able to capitulate that and then really take it to where we're not even included in those concert networks, So that's one aspect that we need, because when we do concerts, or even when people come to our city, we don't bring them. So it's not a concert that I would go to, because I'm not going to go and sing Erykah Badu with a whole bunch of white folks and people that's other than us. So it makes it not even the right kind of environment. That's number one on a performance level. Number two, we want to be the people who put our music out, not a Sony, not a Universal, not these, these 360. These 360 contracts, we don't want to be a part of that. We want to, an equitable part of it. And we understand, somebody needs to mute. We understand that we have to probably build that network, that part of it, Number three, the promotional network. Usually, in order to get out, you have to go through their promotional network, and you have to put out the type of music that they want you to put out, period. And they get to pick your singles. They don't pick the best singles because they don't know the market at all. It's like 60, 70-year-old white guys picking the singles. So it's like, three serious aspects: the meat and potatoes of our business itself, and, the sales part. And then there's the touring aspect, the touring network, and then there's the promotional part. We want to, we want something, be able to put something into that, or artists into that, and them, do well and not come out on drugs, dead, because this is kind of what's happening at this point. We've seen some of our greats come out on drugs, dead, you know, and then they smear their name afterwards, and then that's not a good story. We want a different story for our artists and for our music, you know, and I think we have the people here to do it, you know.
Have you guys done research on what exists, what clubs exist? I mean, sort of like talking about the Green Book / setting up a Chitlin network, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Have you done the research to find out what I mean, they're independents now. We're talking about putting things together as a collaborative. Do you have a list of, or have you got people that are working on finding out what's available to network?
Yeah, Mr. Clyde, to answer that, in all of our regions, we all have access to different spaces, you know.
Right.
Yeah, but to answer the question you guys just put out there, the network is basically a platform for artists and creators to get our material out there, but still keeping ownership of our product.
Well, we'll start off with that. I mean, that's what this whole conversation's been. So that part I get. My question is, if you're going to go ahead and take what you've got and consolidate it and build a network, first you got to find out where are all the independents out there, kind of who's out there working on that, and start to get them into your group, because it's going to ultimately come down to signing all of them up to be coming through your porthole.
So you talking about the artists?
Yeah, the artists, the clubs, anybody in distribution, all these elements, what exists, you know, because I mean, you can recreate the wheel, or you can start picking up people that are pieces of the wheel and put them in your group and just create the singular location. But don't start from square. Start from who's doing what, where, and let's talk to him. Let's talk to him. This is what we want to do. Are you on board? And start to build that network of your own that says, when I do put it out, y'all are putting your stuff out as a collective.
Right.
Because it take a lot longer to sit up here and do it all. You're gonna get it all. No, we Black folks fight with each other for dominance. Okay. You know, you get 12 other people doing the same thing. It'll be about 12 of you guys doing the same thing. And you know, and then arguing with each other about who's number one. Like that main point. As opposed to
he said exactly what I've been saying from the beginning. Remember, I keep saying that we got to get 100 people in, 100 people in, 100 people in before we even launch what we're doing, because those are going to be the people that's going to be our network right there to get it out there. And remember, I've said that until we get to the 100 people with just us, we'll just be promoting to ourselves.
Look, you need to write up a proposal that says this is who we are. This is what we're doing, and you need to send it out to everybody and say, we will be contacting you. Right. Here's our concept. We need to get, I mean, we'll start off with the premise. We know that we're getting ripped off every place else. We're trying to put together a consortium of people where we have our own, we become our own Sony. All right. It's not something that's done. We are gathering the people together to do that. We like your input. You handle such and such and such and such in distribution, or you handle this, that, and the other. It's an element that we also need in order to put something viable together. Then the biggest trick gets down to where the money is. You know, I'll go down to, you know, some people come in and just tell you up front, wait a minute, I'll work on that for you, but here's my bill, you know, as opposed to getting on board to the group on a concept.
Right.
What you're selling here is not the business. You're selling the concept of putting together a business. All right. So you start off with not who can I collect? Who can I get? What are all of my categories? What do we need? And then the punchline, what do we anticipate we'll be able to do when we've got it? What's the punchline? What will it do for us? And then let these people know that you'd like to get in touch with them and talk to them about the possibilities. You have a group of X number of people. We meet on such and such and such, come brainstorm with us, and then work them into your group and find out who's real, because half will come in and spend 2.5 minutes and listen to what you got to say and they'll walk. But you'll find a cherry here and a cherry there, and you start grabbing those people. You build that 100 people you're talking about. But
so
the
first thing we got to put it on paper, a plan on paper first, right?
A conceptual plan for what you're trying to do.
Okay.
Then you say, and this is what we put together so far, and this is what we need in order to get it done. And would you be interested in participating?
Well, that
And
sounds like my business plan is looking for investors, but this is,
yeah, well, but in this case, you're looking to build a business. Same concept. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it all
They're just
applies.
investing time and energy.
Business is business is business. To get it for this, to get it for money, to get it for starting this, it's all the same. You got the concepts. It's just writing the narrative to the concept that you're selling.
Okay.
Pitt,
Alrighty.
you want to help me this week come up with that, write that out?
Who, me?
Yourself, Pitt.
Booger.
Pitt
Oh,
is the
Pitt.
hospital.
His name Booger.
Let's let him rest. No?
No,
he's there.
he told me.
Pitt, unmute yourself.
We can't
This
hear
man
you,
would
Pitt.
be tied up
Can't hear
to
Come in,
tubes
Pitt.
and would still want to take a call.
You're on mute, Pitt. Must be talking to somebody else.
Trying to
Yeah.
figure out how to unmute.
Oh no, he pushing buttons.
Yeah.
That's the right one. That's the one. Push it.
You got to keep going over, brother. Further over.
Scroll. Push to speak.
Over.
This push to speak. Yes. Go. Okay, no,
Nope.
not yet.
Still blocked.
Almost.
Nope. Still
You didn't
blocked,
push
bro.
to speak.
You
Did
see
you
a little
push-
microphone in the bottom left-hand corner?
You got to
No.
scroll over, family. Scroll over more. Scroll over.
Scroll, then tap to
Scroll.
speak.
Yep.
Worst case, that's the easiest way.
Okay.
He ain't on his
Okay.
phone. He must be on
Yep.
his.
Yep.
You cute.
Keanu, what y'all cooking for dinner?
I had some smoked sausage, some grits, and some greens, and what else? It was good. Some red potatoes.
I'm on my
Hungry
way.
man meal.
I was gonna say, what time's dinner?
And
Hungry man meal.
what city you say
He
you're
all
in, man?
small. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Well,
man, I
actually,
do that.
Tanika and Pitt, do you guys want to help me put that together?
Pitt, you still on mute, brother?
Yeah, but
I'm not though.
He's not a
okay.
yes though.
He
So you
shook
can
his
hear
head
Tanika, so
yes,
you down to
though.
help with that too?
I'm in for sure because I
Okay.
got a very good idea of what we need, and I got, like I said, the hardware and software team telling me what we need to get on our part, and then I kind of, like I said, I have connections to the back end, and I think actually we should get maybe Yvonne, because she was talking about another company that has a similar business model, or somebody was talking about something where the artists get a piece of the pie, different type of, but on the back end part, yes, I can do that, and I can be nosy
Well,
with
Yvonne,
the
are you
other
are you
platforms.
down, Yvonne, to help structure the business plan or sit in
Yeah,
on them meetings? Huh?
yeah.
Okay, and anybody else on the line? Would you guys want to be a part of the team?
Oh, Pitt was unmuted for a second there.
I will definitely contribute some ideas, to as far as what I know, because I definitely have some ideas.
Yeah.
And look,
Absolutely.
I would suggest, okay, for those of you that put it together,
Okay.
put it together. It don't have to be all right.
Right.
Send it out to everybody and get their input, as opposed to one person here, somebody doing the work, et cetera, because it's going to be a piece. Let everybody think about it, but it also works to keep everybody on board for knowing where you're going.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Yes,
otherwise
sir.
it's like, well, they handled that, I'm sort of on the outside. No, give it to
That's
everybody.
Yeah, everybody's in
Yeah,
touch.
work out the first piece, and
I
then
like that.
that then
Okay.
becomes the thing you send out to other people you're trying to recruit.
All right. So
Gotcha.
for now, Tanika and Pitt, the three of us, and Yvonne, let's structure that. Let's put that together on paper.
Okay,
Down, Pitt.
I'm down. I
Uh,
had to switch machines because I was on my tablet and I haven't used this on my tablet yet. And it was telling me some stuff in Japanese.
I know the drill.
Let me know. I would
That's
take
no
it to my
excuse. That's
Japanese.
no excuse.
See, Mr. Clyde, look how helpful you've been, even within the little bit of time you've been on this Zoom.
I mean, I don't know if I've been
Really
helpful,
appreciate it.
but
You
I'm
have
very
been
helpful.
helpful, man. You've
I'll
given
keep
us.
picking at you because I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing, you know. But yeah, get that together and then get that to me too. Then I'll send that to Jamal.
Okay.
And Because I mean, I know he's got platform crap in the back of his brain. So let's go ahead and just send it.
Oh my goodness.
And then I'll use him to get a hold of his circle of people he kind of knows. So we'll try to build it that way. But all of you should be doing that. Everybody go get one. Is what I'm saying. You know, just go find. Don't make a job for yourself. Just go find one.
Yep.
Mm.
All right.
That's an
Everybody
excellent
brings
point.
one, you double. Everybody just brings one. You know, you'll lose 20% of them, you lose 30% of them. But then again, everybody brings one. You'll find them. I mean, everybody got the same need, and everybody like to get paid, and everybody like to not work for the man. So, you know, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
There it is.
Definitely.
Nobody's gonna complain about what you're trying to do. They'll and then watch out for the pitfalls of other pretenders that say they want to do the same thing.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
just stay on your focus. Don't let and we're doing it too stop you, because they're doing it too may stop in 6 more days or something like that.
Yep.
Just stay focused on what you're doing. You're off to a good start.
You guys, we need to come up with an NDA.
Well, y'all, I put something in the chat. It's Bandcamp. It's a link to Bandcamp, and they're one of the most equitable, I would say, apps for artists. It's a good model for what we're trying to do, but we need to make it our own version of it. You know, so I would recommend y'all check it out.
Look at you.
Yeah, Bandcamp would be a lot better than a
Yeah.
lot of, I'm on
They have
Bandcamp.
a good
But
myself.
model.
I think that's what Tanika's that's her
Okay.
idea is coming up with
See?
that platform,
Okay.
Blacktify. That's that.
Yeah.
There we go. So you were using that as a model, sis? Wow, that's amazing.
Well,
Uh-oh.
Oh, she got excited.
I don't think she's necessarily using Bandcamp, but her Blacktify idea is the
Right,
black
Blackify, yeah. It's
the
it's a
black
version
version
of
of Bandcamp,
Bandcamp, right?
Spotify, all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a good way to do it. Just A and B it. Like when you're mixing a song, be like this, I want it to sound like this. So we're doing something similar to what they're doing, you know, but our own version of it, you know. So I like their version the best out of all the joints. They got the best joint. Yeah, so for lack of a better word, that's about as close to it as what we're talking about as far as on a retail level, right?
Yeah.
I think that's it. So
all right, Mr. Clyde. Well, we don't want to monopolize your time. Now you don't give us a task to do. So we're gonna get this together and then get back with you once we get this structured.
Done deal. It's
Yeah,
been a
but thank you
pleasure.
so much for your time and your wisdom.
Hey, y'all. Do
Much
what you do.
appreciated.
All right, y'all do what you do because
Yes, sir.
it's needed. It's needed. And I'd just as soon look at a bunch of rich people. and I mean
I call
brown
this
rich
my
people. Okay?
billionaires club.
I got you. Okay, I'm checking out. Let you guys go. Thanks much.
All right.